Drones. They buzz over the skies of Iraq, Pakistan or Yemen. Unmanned, spying, missile launching. Used to wipe out suspected militants without trial. They kill non-combatants too, and they've become a deeply controversial American weapon of war. But drones mean something else entirely in many workshops throughout America. It's an industry exploding with the potential to do a lot of good, and some things that are more than a little worrying.
And then give it some gas. Very good. Beautiful. Right stick, go that way though. Whoops.
When you were doing the right stick forward, but you were like just tapping.
Meet Mark Kornblatt and his business partner Eli Delia. These guys are completely insane. No, really.
Let's try one more.
One more time.
So it's going to drift here. I'm just going to go. I'm going to take it all the way down there, right?
Right.
They brought me to their secret test site, an abandoned train depot, so I could see what has been going on in the DIY workshops of San Francisco.
You almost killed me.
Mark and Eli are leaders of a rapidly growing community of Americans who build and modify small drones.
We mounted a paintball gun on a drone, and so we flew the drone around with a working gun on it, and the operator could see who was in its target. So we were flying around shooting Eli with paintball.
There's nowhere I could run.
And he couldn't escape.
There's nowhere I could run.
So let's replace paintballs with bullets. Lockheed Martin calls you up tonight and says, we want you guys to work on this new assassination drone.
I think we both vehemently just hang up the phone, right?
We may be advocating violent games and kind of crash-up derby type activities with the drones, but we're really doing that to drive the technology forward. We wrote code that would fly, find faces in the crowd, fly up and take a photograph of a face. It would then upload that image to the Google image search, and if it found a match, it could identify who you were.
So how are you not working for the government?
You know, it's funny, it took us 10 minutes to write that code. If you wanted to use a drone for nefarious purposes, it's just as easy as using it for good purposes. It's all on the intent of the user.
If Mark's right, and it's about intent, that may be one of the reasons people don't trust the cops with drones. When the Seattle police bought a pair with federal government funds, they provoked so much outrage that they had to send them back. Here in Colorado, at the Mesa County Sheriff's Office, things are looking less shaky.
It's stabilized to make sure that the camera's always pointed down no matter how the aircraft is moving in the wind, because the angle...
So, I'll be honest, I expected to meet a cowboy proud of his drone, but UAV program head Ben Miller turned out to be the kind of geek I'd meet in San Francisco. He runs the county's drone program. You guys have never spied on anyone, have you?
No, well, when we chase bad guys, that's not surveillance. Technically speaking, that's a search and rescue mission. It's just that the legal status of the person that we're looking for is different from, say, your lost hiker. We take this big group of photos.
Ben showed me how they use their drones to reconstruct crime scenes, something like a personal Google Earth.
Paste it together in one big...
He says they mainly use their drones after crimes have been committed, not before.
So pretend you're the jury. I can take you for a tour of the crime scene in 3 dimensions.
But drones have also come into play during crimes.
A couple of guys were at a party. They got in a fight. One guy left. The other guy chased him down, stabbed him 7 times, and then left into the bushes. Unmanned aircraft, in that case, is perfect. We put it up above the bushes and we went looking for the bad guy. We didn't find him that day, but the safety level that we provided to my guys on the ground, it's priceless.
We've already seen in the last 2 years a lot of departments acquire drones, and sometimes really without any public scrutiny.
Parker Higgins of the Electronic Frontier Foundation says the temptation for police to use drones for surveillance will only grow as the technology improves.
One technology that police have been really excited about using is called the Stingray, which intercepts cell phone signals and read text messages as they come through, and that could be put on a drone.
The EFF has been working to cast light on law enforcement agencies with drone programs and develop legislation to limit their spying powers.
5 years, 10 years, you could imagine something like being algorithmically flagged for suspicion and having a drone follow you around.
Minority Report.
Exactly. Well, there's a lot of things from Minority Report that I think we could plan to see where without checks, without public scrutiny, without transparency, that's the direction that law enforcement wants to go.
Given that it's become abundantly clear that the NSA is going through our emails, listening to our phone calls, spying on individuals both in the United States and elsewhere in a deep way, what difference does a drone make?
There's a concern that you might turn towards what we call privacy nihilism. Like, well, you know, privacy's dead, or there's nothing worth protecting. There's a lot of information that you can gather from aerial surveillance that isn't obviously available any other way.
There is something unnerving about being a journalist and knowing if a police force or government wanted information about a source or a story I was working on, they could simply fly a drone over my head and intercept my cell phone signal. The technology is advancing rapidly, driven by a booming industry. Some analysts forecast nearly $90 billion will be spent globally on drones over the coming decade.
You're growing, right?
At an incredible pace. This is kind of our flight locker. This is our Arrow. Here, this is actually a 3D robotics, ready to fly airplane. This is a dodecacopter, so 12 rotors.
Colin Gwynn represents 3D Robotics. It's a Bay Area operation that got $35 million from venture capitalists to get off the ground. They focus on non-military drones and have sold some to the Tijuana police force in Mexico.
The fact that this is in the same price range as like a small personal electronic device, pretty wild. The more accessible these machines become, the more people decide, okay, I can do that now. I can afford that now, and I could sure benefit from being able to see my world from above.
Demand from who?
Literally, it's every walk of life. It's the farmer in Kansas, it's the hunter in Texas, it's the action sports guy in Southern California, it's your realtors.
What about law enforcement?
Talking about, you know, law enforcement using drones can be a very touchy subject, you know, and can be the subject of much debate. I think that with any new technology, there's going to be the potential for using them for bad reasons. I think with drones specifically, the good uses of drones are so far outweigh the potential negative uses.
Mark and Eli have channeled their idealism about the technology into a movement of DIY drone makers. And every flourishing movement is supported by a community. It's called Game of Drones. It's all about testing your drone in combat.
It's the drone head. You got 90 seconds to do your work. So you want to go zing and put the prop back on. Hey, I need a,
Just pulls one out of his pocket.
Everybody asks the same thing. Is that a drone, or who do you work for? Are you military? Like, nah. I just put together a drone and just flying around. Everybody
Are you spying on me?
Yeah, people think I'm spying on them.
This is the Barbie Dream Drone. It does attract little girls' attention. I went from building my drone to now kind of being the female crusader, the female superhero of drones.
Watching these guys fly 5 drones at a time, attacking each other, smashing into walls, it's a relief to know that everyone here has good intentions. But imagining these drones in the hands of people with different motives, that's when it gets dicey. And while the US government has made efforts to regulate commercial drone use through the Federal Aviation Authority, the question remains, who or what serves as a check on government use?
If you've got all these ingredients, right? So you've got facial recognition technology, drones. We're one step away from tipping off into a police state, aren't we?
We're one step away from tipping off into Skynet, always. Yeah. But it's a matter of time. I think there are authorities that want to use it for surveillance and stuff like that, but it's up to the public to kind of keep pushing them back and keep them at bay.
It's a strange but compelling trait of the California tech boom that on this question, even the most critical voices are optimistic.
In the short term, we may see things happening without transparency, but hopefully, in the longer term, the long arc of technology bends towards justice.
One aboard. One's boarding.
Subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook.